Mr. Gorbachev.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Turn up this podcast.
I'm in this for the money and the pussy, and they're both falling off the trees.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 148 of the Reasonable Doubt podcast. As always, we are your hosts, Iripsy Griff.
And J Money.
New camera, we're back. Hope everyone had a good holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
Shawnaka, yeah. That's if your name's Sean or Shauna. It's important.
What else? Happy.
It's winter solstice.
So I got this acupressure mat.
Hard turn. All right, you got an acupressure mat.
Yeah, for Christmas. And I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, it's like kind of sharp.
You lay down on it and it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's going to be like, I was like, whatever. What's this going to do?
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
It does it?
It does it. Yeah, it's really fucking sharp.
Ah!
Yeah, I literally can't lay on it in my bare skin yet.
Oh, you will.
Yeah,
You'll
it
build
takes
up.
time apparently, but like I wore a t-shirt and I can lay on it for like 15, 20 minutes and I'm like
15,
like
20 minutes is a long time.
it's hot. It feels hot because it's stabbing you everywhere.
It's bringing your blood to the
Yeah,
surface.
it's crazy, dude. So I laid on my belly and like like my shirt came up, so a little bit of the bottom of my belly was out, and that part felt like a rash for a while.
Did it really?
Yeah, it hurt a lot.
Yeah, I've done similar ones where it's like on your feet.
Okay, yeah.
It's like you stand on it, and depending on where you put your pressure, it helps certain things. But
I
feel like
have
that feels
stood on
great.
it, and the feet feel great.
Mm.
And then there's a pillow as well, and I use that, and it like.
I would love that.
It feels. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I actually put it over my head too, and just squished it in, and it was like. Ugh.
yeah. I love just getting my head rubbed.
Yeah, me too.
It's the
like
best.
a dog.
It's the best part about having a girlfriend.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just
That
get
and
your
back
head-
scratches.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll start kicking my leg like a dog. Drooling and shit.
Dude, I drooled the other day getting a back scratch. I was like, and just like going, I'm like,
Because what it is they're good if they don't scratch too hard. You
yeah,
just want their nails like rubbing.
just the nails.
Just the nails. And I'll be like, I'll do anything you want.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
give me like a
That's
head
the
and
end.
back, like one each hand, like on
Yeah.
the head and the back, I'll cook you dinner for a week. I'll do
What do you want?
I'll do
Yeah.
your laundry.
Yeah.
All of it.
You want seared scallops for
Yeah,
breakfast?
I'll fucking change your oil.
Yeah.
I'll do all that shit for you.
Oh, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, you had a good
Yeah,
Christmas?
yeah, I did.
Good.
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stress-free Christmas.
That's good. That doesn't happen all the time.
Stress-free holiday, like I'm telling you, that was a blessing.
You know what? I used to get very stressed about Christmases all the time.
Yeah.
I usually have like a bunch to go to.
Yep.
And it's all driving. And I would just sit there and be stressed about it for like weeks leading up. And then I was just like, fuck it. Like, this is something I'm going to do. I have to do it. Right? So just like have a good time the whole time and stop stressing out. And like, that's literally all it took. I just had to stop stressing. And I was like, whatever. I got to drive a bit. It's cool.
if
I'm just
you-
going to get drunk with my family.
Yeah, if you just get over it and are like, yeah, I'm just going to go there and get drunk. And you just accept that, like, that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
I really don't care what I get for gifts.
And boy, did I.
Yeah, did you?
Oh, yeah.
You
Two
got
out of
schlickered?
two out of 4
Dude, I
family
took it.
Christmases, I got hammered.
I was in bed before 2 for both of them.
I was in bed, yeah.
I took it easy, man.
Yeah.
Max over the course of my holidays have had 12 beers.
Yeah?
Yeah. I went out with our buddy on Boxing Day and we had a bunch of beers. And other than that, I had like both Christmases were hella mild.
The 2 Christmases, I drank hard. I had a bottle of wine each day.
Oh, you went in.
And then I think I had 6 beers each of those days as well. And then a good amount of liquor. Rum on one day and whiskey on the other.
Jesus, you're
Oh,
you're like a Christmas pirate.
Yeah. Just like what? Because I'll show up with like a bottle of wine and 6 beers. And then I'll drink all that. And then it'll be like 1 o'clock and everyone's drunk.
And they'll be
And
like,
they're
oh, what
like-
do you want to bust out the liquor
And
cabinet?
then, like, yeah, you know, I mean, it feels weird because I'm 27 talking about, like, the adults.
Yeah.
at the Christmas or whatever, but like people that own their homes and like do pretty well, they're like, come out in the garage. I got a garage fridge full of beer. Like, take whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just open it up and there's like 100 beers in there. Well,
This is something that made me feel like an adult. I used to rent this house with with an ex-girlfriend, and I had a fridge in the garage.
that's a
And
great feeling.
At all times, there was a minimum of 3 cases of beer in there, and I would have like Old Milwaukee, Heineken, and MGD.
You drink like an old black man.
Dude, I had like good beers, good beers.
That's like a middle class black uncle drink.
Yeah, Heineken, MGD,
Like he's
and Old
single,
Mill.
like single. He pulls up in like
Yeah.
a Challenger.
Yeah, yeah, like something kind of cool, but financially responsible.
Financially
enough.
responsible, like insurance isn't gonna kill him.
Yeah.
and he drives it every day to work.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, he does drive it to work every
It's
day.
his car.
Yeah.
he doesn't have cars.
Yeah,
he has
that's
car,
the one,
and that's the one.
And he has a house.
And he's got a house, and he'll have like a Camaro, but
Yeah.
it'll be like purple because he got it wrapped.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I can't be driving around with it red.
Yeah, that's just silly, or like yellow.
But dude, I'm telling you, that was the moment that I was like, you know what? I'm a grown man.
It was when you have a garage fridge.
Garage fridge, and I would have friends over exactly what you're saying. I'd be like, come over. I had a backyard. We'd have a bonfire, and then people would hang out. They'd be like, are you going to bed? And I'd be like, no. And they're like, oh, I've only got 1 beer left. And I'd be like, what do you want? You want Heineken? You
Yeah.
want Old Mill?
Do you want to sit?
MGD?
You want to sit in the garage? We'll keep the door shut, and you have a garage stereo because of course
Yeah,
you do.
and smoke in there.
And you smoke in there, and you sit in like camping chairs.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
it's
garage, and it
perfect.
just smells like oil and darts
and wood.
and wood, and like the rubber handles on tools.
Yeah, it's such a distinct
It's such
smell.
I know.
Oh, it's
and you're
so
like
good.
you're like sitting in a circle in your
Yeah.
chairs because if the door's open, you all face out.
Yeah.
But if the door's shut, you all face each other, and there's like a Folgers can on the floor. That's
Yeah,
like-
everyone's
so you
just-
gotta lean in to flick it.
Yeah, let me just get that.
Because when you hit that point, beer is groceries.
It is.
Right? Like you're making your grocery list. You're like, well, I'm down to 2 cases in the garage fridge. Like
I should
if there's-
top that
I'll
up.
top that up with
Yeah.
a fresh case.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Is like if I was out, I would just grab a case of beer.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm getting back to that point in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a garage, and I've
I
got
don't
like a
have a
mini
garage.
fridge, so I can have like.
Yeah, you're an adult now.
I've got like one.
1 case on the go.
Having 2 fridges means you're an adult.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah, it
fully an
does.
adult having 2 fridges.
You know what else I used to have?
What's that?
That I always was like very proud of?
What's that?
2 sets of rocks glasses. You remember, I moved in
Yeah.
with them. 2 sets of rocks glasses, so 12 rocks glasses.
Yeah.
And I used to keep like a liquor cabinet. I would keep like a bar rail.
Yeah, keep-
Rum, whiskey, gin,
Yeah,
vodka.
and that requires maintenance too.
Yeah.
You had people over. You had some like rye shots,
Yeah.
and you're out of rye. So you don't think like I've also got 5 other bottles of liquor, but I'm out of rye.
I'm out of rye. Yeah, that's the thing.
I
It's
have to
like,
pick
oh,
up
I'm
some
out of
rye.
rye. Yeah. But my standard was a bar rail.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I
you
kept.
should have
I
a
think
bar
it
rail.
was. I think what I usually kept was like a spiced rum. It's like spiced rum, Jameson or Jack Daniels, and then like a good bottle of bourbon, a bottle of vodka, bottle of Tanqueray, and
no gin.
Tanqueray,
Oh yeah, Tanqueray. Yeah.
and then
Tequila?
a bottle of like Jose Cuervo or some
Yeah,
cheap,
yeah, yeah.
like cheap shitty. Because
Yeah.
the only time you drink tequila's you either do it in shots, which like
It's
yeah,
gonna be shit anyway.
it's shit anyway, or you put it in a super fruity drink where you can't taste it and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and like I'm not like Mexican American. I can't tell you like.
Yeah,
the
I'm not
notes of
sipping
I
my
can't-
tequila. I can't. No, so it's like,
Tequila-
oh, what did I get? The Olmeca,
Yeah.
like the sale tequila,
Yeah.
whatever was
That
cheapest.
Sauza.
Yeah, Sousa. Yeah.
Yeah, tequila just tastes like I'm gonna puke and like let's grab a bag.
Yeah.
That's what tequila.
It's halfway between. Yeah, like holy shit, I'm gonna puke, and also like I can start making terrible decisions.
Yeah, that's
right
like
now.
I have $130 I could spend.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just I've got room on the credit card.
yeah. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm gonna need to pay this off, but I'll deal with that.
Yeah, that's
future.
so
That's future me problem.
Yeah, future me, he's
Dude.
fucked.
I've been really bad for that lately.
Where's future me's problem?
I keep doing this. Okay, I say this, but all right. Fuck. So I keep being like, yeah, that's future me's problem. And I just leave it. And I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Fuck this, whatever. And I just don't deal with it. Or I just like, I'm going to do the thing that benefits me right now, and I'll let future me deal with whatever. Let me tell you, I never have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I actually just consistently am setting future me up for coming from happy me. I've realized that so many things I'm like, fuck, this is something I need to do. I don't.
No,
You don't have to do much.
No.
There's not much you're really obligated to do.
Yeah.
You feel obligated, and I'm sure people are like, wow, that motherfucker didn't, bring charcuterie. But it's like,
That was Future Me's job.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
dropped the ball.
and he dropped the ball because he was fucking hungover. What a jackass.
Like Future
I
Me,
had 2 great nights in a row. That's all I know.
Future Me has a lot to do. Past Me is a dickhead.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
Current me is just making it up.
It'll be like, Future Me, I can get fucking hammered and get into work by 10.
Yeah.
And I'll feel great because I'm that guy, I'm the big dog, right? And then, it's the next morning and I got to go to work. I'm like, what the fuck was Past Me thinking? I'm not that guy.
I'm not that guy. I never wanted to be
Future
that
Me's
guy.
that guy, but Present Me is not that guy.
I will say recently I've started making more of a point if I'm like I just won't jeopardize my sleep.
You can drink as much as you want, but if you get 8 hours,
You're fine.
You're fine.
It doesn't matter. That's how grown-ups do it. That's how I
That's how
used
you
to
do it.
watch Uncle Sean. Shout out to you. Uncle Sean used to do that, except for when we had to go hunting in the morning. He would just get so drunk that he'd still be drunk when we got up to go hunting.
That's the sleeper play.
Well, because then we'd go sit in a deer stand, and he'd sit there, be like, all right, and he'd kind of
sleep.
loosely explain stuff, and then he'd go like this, and he'd go, and he'd just go to sleep, and I was like, this motherfucker's loud as shit, and you know what? I've never shot a deer with Uncle Sean.
What you have to do is, because people that got to work at 6 in the morning are still functional alcoholics. They're just tanked by 9 p.m.
Yeah, they're tanked by 9 p.m. and in bed by 9:30.
Yeah, that's what they
9:30.
do.
They're like, cool, it's bedtime.
Or you get up, and if you wake up still drunk, you've got a precious, half hour.
Yeah,
where
Advil,
you've got
water, Gatorade.
Advil, water, get your shit, drive to work.
Yeah, get to work. You got to get to work.
Get
and
to
be
work.
in there and pass the hey,
And then
I'm
whatever,
here.
you can be hungover at work because work sucks anyways.
Yeah.
Or you get all this stuff set up, right? Like you get food coming.
Yeah,
you get some
food
water
coming.
and Advil in you, and then go back to sleep for your hangover.
Yeah.
And just sleep through that motherfucker. But if you wait till you're hungover, you won't be able to go back to sleep because you'll be too sick.
No. Yeah, you gotta. Or the alternative is, honestly, shot of creme de cacao. Yeah.
Oh.
It's just sugar and booze. And then you throw some Baileys in your coffee, and you fucking...
You gotta be careful with that. That's the slippery slope.
That is the... Okay,
It's
so
just start drinking again.
here's what I know.
This is how the real motherfucking booze bags do it.
It's a very slippery slope, let me tell you. But it also is... It works.
Until the one day that you don't drink in the morning, and 5 days of hangover hit you.
Yeah, and you're like... Ah!
There's a ringing in your ears. You gotta steady yourself in the hallway when you're walking down.
I remember for the longest time I was so against it, the hair of the dog. Yeah,
Because you're young and you're dumb and you don't know what a hangover is yet.
Yeah, because I was like, no, that you're just an alcoholic. If you do that, you're an alcoholic.
That's what I used
right?
to say too.
I would literally be like, you're an alcoholic. I'm not fucking doing that. That's crazy.
I said that when I was 20 because the worst hangover I had when I was 20 was an hour of headache.
Yeah.
But
fair enough.
I've had debilitating hangovers now, and hair of the dog fucking works. That's why your parents drank Caesars.
Yeah, it totally is.
That's
if you
why
think
they
about
drank
it.
Caesars and
Yeah,
shit.
be like, oh yeah, I'm having tomato juice.
Yeah, it's like when you go camping with your parents and they get all fucking drunk with their friends,
And then have a Caesar in the morning.
but you're not picking up on what a hangover is because you're 11.
Yeah.
And you don't know, and you wake up the next morning and they're just like, I need you to keep your voice down.
I need you to be a little quieter.
It's
and,
8:30. You're like, what breakfast?
Yeah. And you're like, I want to go to the beach. And they're like, we're going to take you to the beach. That sounds like a great idea, but I need you to be quiet until we go to the beach.
I need you to be quiet until we go there. And then they've got their cooler cup.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm just going to make myself Our coffee.
Yeah, with vodka, because that's all that's left over. We need to drive into town today, so someone has to be hungover.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, like I've one thing, especially with family Christmases, is you talk with your family a lot, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like reminiscing about being kids.
Yes.
And you like remember half the stories, but then when you get old enough, they tell you things that you weren't privy to because like you were there. But I remember my parents like partying with their friends and stuff. And then as I get older, they're like, I was just like, oh yeah, they had a few beers and hung out all night.
No,
and then I find out
puked in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then I find out at like 26 that they're like, yeah, I was a fucking rager. We were doing shots till 4 a.m. like whoever the fuck got a Dewey. Like, oh yeah, it was a fucking time. They used to call it the Lucan Badolf piss up, and everyone used to. And I'm like, oh.
You know what's crazy is I remember my mom and dad telling me about a party that they went to, and I remember because I went to bed, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah, everything like seemed normal." A bunch of adults and like my friends were there,
Yeah.
But I guess the kids went to bed and they just went ballistic, and they're like sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, remember Tammy's tits were out? People were doing shots," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck, bro?" And my mom's like, "Oh yeah, I took a shot at Tammy's titties," and it's like, "Yo, what are you doing? Who are you?" Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, that's so funny. It's like they're actually not all that different.
Yeah.
Like you like to think like, okay, I've partied pretty hard. Like maybe my dad did like that one time, but I'm pretty sure I partied way harder than my parents ever did.
Yeah.
And then you find out that that's not the case.
not the
Everyone partied this hard.
dude. I don't know if I can say this on here. Someone who's very close to me, Dad, said this is hilarious. It doesn't matter. He's gonna retire soon anyway. He told me, he's like, I made a comment to him the one day. We're talking about drugs, and he was kind of asking, like, I think feeling me out, like, what have you been doing drug wise? And
you find out your dad is just like hoofing lines.
no, so I was like, yeah, like I was thinking about trying acid, and he goes, and looks off, and I was like, what? Like, my dad's like the most straight-laced guy, like, no fucking around.
Yeah.
He'll have like a glass of wine with Christmas dinner and night. That's it. That's it. And so I'm like, what the fuck? Have you done acid? He goes, oh yeah, man. I remember we used to take acid Friday night after work, and then we would keep dropping acid and stay up
until Monday morning.
Till Sunday night. He said we would just stay up all night Friday, all night Saturday, and then we'd fall asleep Sunday night. And he's like, you could just drink like a fish. He's like, we just drink for 2 days, and then we go to sleep. He goes, I'd sleep for like 12 hours and wake up and go to work on Monday. And I was like, that is the craziest
Just
shit.
deleting your whole weekend.
Oh my fucking God. I've never partied that hard, and I've partied hard.
Maybe that's why he's like straight laced now.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I had my time.
He did that one time where it was one time too many, and Monday morning he's like,
I can never do this again.
Fuck it. Not doing that.
Yeah, that's enough of this life.
I can't keep doing this.
It very well could be, honestly, because it blew my marbles. I was like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, I found out, like, my dad and his brother, like my uncle, I found out about this 3 days ago, and it's never come up before, which is crazy. They got a trip to England, they're from England, so they had a trip to England, like, bought for them by their dad. And they did a driving tour of the coast of England, like, they started in London, went up, and then did the whole coast and drove England together.
That would take like a week and a half.
Yeah. And just all day they would just drive, and every time they saw a pub, they'd pull over, get a beer, and keep driving.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if you know much about England.
There's a lot of pubs. Yeah, that's a lot of stopping.
Yeah, my dad's like, oh yeah, I gotta dig it out. Like I had a video camera. I recorded the whole thing.
What?
Yeah, this isn't like 94.
Oh, dude, that's so cool.
And I was like, yeah, you gotta find that. He's like, yeah, I'll take a look around. I'm like, no, fucking...
You know what's crazy? I was talking to my aunt and uncle in England over Christmas, and they were talking about that, I guess, because like certain ethnicities and stuff have become like very dominant in certain areas of England. So pubs are shutting down because these ethnicities don't drink. So
Okay.
a lot of these pubs are shutting down. But they were like, man, there was more than enough pubs. Like, it's fine. That's not a big deal. And my uncle goes, yeah, well, like, it's probably a good thing, too. Like, the general population's not drinking as much as they used to, and they changed the laws because, like, you used to be able to drink and drive. And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. Dude, you used to be able, not like in Canada where you can have, like, 2 beers and drive. And
You used to be able to drink and drive.
Yeah, in Ireland and England and Scotland, there was a time when their limit was, like, 12 beers. like you could get fucked up and drive home as long as you didn't speed. If you sped, you got a drinking and driving ticket. But if you weren't speeding, you were fine. That's crazy. Let's bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
I remember, like, we talk about this all the time. They'll do like they'll show interviews from back in the day when laws are changing.
Yeah.
Right? They did. We've seen the one in Canada where they introduced seatbelt laws,
Okay.
and it's like the one girl with like the baby on her hip and she's smoking and she's like calling it communist that she has to wear a seatbelt in Alberta.
What?
I think I've shown you that.
Oh, that's crazy.
But there's one in England and Australia because I think they did the drunk driving thing around the same time for the two of them.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like they interview people in the pub, so they're just fucking pissed drunk, and they're like, I don't think the state should tell me when I can't drive. I think I know perfectly well when I can't drive. Yeah, but those guys booze different.
In like Alberta?
No, in like England and Australia and shit. Those guys are boozing.
I was going to say Alberta, yeah, they booze different. But they still drive like that.
They do. But I think pub culture
In England and
In,
stuff.
like,
Because
the
it
UK
used
is-
to be, this is what my uncle said, because I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, you think about driving under that much influence. And he's like, yeah, but you never drive very far was the thing. That's the same with Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, what, you're driving home from the pub, you're really driving, like, for under 5 minutes.
Yeah, plus you're
Like,
doing
it's
this,
like 5 or 10 minutes, and you're doing, like, 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, plus you've done this 5 days a week.
Yeah, they do it all
For
the
10
time.
years.
They just did
You
that.
know the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
That's like a cultural thing there. A lot of people like at lunch will hit the pub.
Yeah,
Like
it's a huge
every
thing.
day on the way home from work you spend like 2 hours in the pub, then you come home. Because pubs aren't like bars.
It's not like here. This is something I talked to the wife about.
Yeah.
Was my cousin Andy was talking to me about it, and I'm like, we were talking about what they define as alcoholism in Canada, and I said, yeah, they said if you have a beer every day, you're an alcoholic. And he starts laughing. He's like, well, then the entirety of Europe are alcoholics.
Yeah.
He was like, we don't see it like that. He's like, it's like, he said most people have a beer at lunch. He said even guys who are like fitness nuts.
Yeah, you have a beer.
He's like, they'll still have a beer.
Yep.
They'll have a beer. They'll have a light beer. Or he said a lot of guys, he said if they're real fitness nuts, they have like a vodka soda.
Yeah,
but
you
the
have a
concept
midday
of like,
drink.
yeah, he's like the concept of like not having a lunch beer or like if you don't do that,
like
on
a
the way home, you have a fucking glass of wine or a beer or whatever.
And like all your boys do. And you have
Yeah,
a beer with them.
everyone
and you go,
hangs out. And you hang out for an hour and then you go home.
Yeah.
He's like, everybody does it. Like, that's crazy.
I was talking to a Spanish guy, sommelier.
Okay.
He like came over here to do a program with me when I was at the old place. And I'm talking with him, and we like did a bunch of work in the morning. It's like lunchtime. I was like, let me make you some food. And he's like, cool, like we'll sit down, we'll have like a glass of wine and have some lunch. And I was like, well, I'll have lunch with you, but like I'm working, I can't have a glass of wine. He's like, he looked at me like dumbfounded. He's like, what?
You're a chef. Yeah, what do you
He's
mean?
like, yeah, he said that. He's like, you're a chef. And he's like, everyone has a glass of wine with lunch. And I was like, no, we don't. Like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the best. And I was like, I bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet a glass of wine, like, especially Spanish people.
Dude, you have a glass of wine.
Like, you're just fucking.
I'm very
4 or
much.
5
I'm
fingers
very
and-
much in that. You have a glass of wine, you have a beer. I'll tell you something. Fuck all
Yeah,
of
you
y'all.
know who actually the only people that do that is trades guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say fuck all y'all. The entirety of the time I worked
Yeah.
in trades, you had a beer at lunch.
Yeah, the boss paying for it.
Yeah, the boss is paying for it. Yeah, boss is paying for it. You go out, you grab like a wrap or a burger or something,
Mm.
and you have a beer, and then you like maybe you have 2 beers, and then you go back to work.
No, because I mean, one beer's nothing.
Yeah, the only difference is Fridays when you're done at noon and everyone gets pissed up at lunch and then goes home. But those same motherfuckers go home, they'll have a couple more beers, and they're asleep by 8 o'clock, and they're up and they're doing side work Saturday morning.
Yeah, their wives fucking hate it.
Yeah, and their wives are like, this motherfucker doesn't stop. He's an Energizer bunny of hatred and work.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, when are you gonna be home? It's Friday, and I know you're done at noon. You stumble your ass in at 7. You're like,
Yeah. Cool, I'm going to bed in an hour.
good night.
And they're wide awake. They're like, oh, okay.
Okay, I just haven't seen you in 5 days.
Yeah. You worked 14 hours a day this week.
Yeah, maybe it's a different North American perspective. Like everywhere in Europe, they drink and smoke like fucking maniacs.
That's the thing. Everybody smokes. Dude.
Everybody's like all the French people smoke, all the Italians smoke, all the Spanish people smoke, most Germans smoke.
Even Asia, like all through Asia, everybody.
Chinese, they smoke.
Japanese smoke a ton, and they have the longest average life expectancy in the whole world. And they smoke like chimneys.
Yeah, it's like a North American thing not to smoke. And I think
it's
like
because
the
we're
UK,
too. You know why? Is because the negative effects of smoking and drinking are exacerbated by stress. And all the places we just named don't have stress like North Americans.
That's true.
North Americans live their lives in like overwhelming amounts of stimuli and stress.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like that's actually what it is. Is like
there's a lot of places in Europe where they just like I think it's most countries. They know that August is vacation month. Have you heard about this? So most European countries you get 4 weeks of paid vacation a year. That's like the standard for your job, right? Which is like unthinkable here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? And it's kind of...
Guys work for 30 years to get 4 weeks paid vacation.
That's like starting. You'll end up with 8.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. And I think it's kind of a cultural thing that most people take their vacation in August. So August, like companies expect minimal work to be done because no one's fucking there. And
Really?
they all just fuck around to other countries in Europe. Like all the British guys go to Spain.
Spain is
Right,
the big
they all go
Spain,
to Ibiza.
Turkey. Yeah.
And Turkey to get the hair transplant.
Yeah.
Right, all the Germans go to Italy. All the Italians go to fucking Greece. Right, they all just like move around.
Yeah.
Right, and they just sit around and smoke and eat all day because they're still getting paid.
Yeah, they do the same thing they do at home, which is crazy. They just go somewhere else and they sit on a beach and smoke and drink.
Yeah, they eat, like every
Smoke,
time.
drink,
I'm
and
sure
eat.
there are stressed people there. I'm sure there are.
There
right?
definitely
Like,
are, but it's
poverty is
not
still
like
definitely
here.
a thing there.
It's not like here.
It's not like here at all.
Here, I would say from like anyone ranging from people who make $1 million a year to ranging down to people who make like $25,000 a year. I would bet that the two ends of that spectrum are the least stressed, and they immediately begin getting more stressed as you go to the toward the middle.
I think it's different stresses too, right?
It's different. People who make like $100,000 a year, those motherfuckers are stressed out.
Yeah,
because they're always middle management. They're getting yelled at from both ends. They don't have enough power to change anything.
Yeah, and they had to fucking grind to get out of the 60,000 to get to the 90,000.
To just touch six figures.
Yeah,
they work their fucking asses off
like
to be
they
there.
make 6 figures
Technically.
with 15 hours a week of overtime.
Yeah.
Right, like their base
But they got
salaries
there.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
And they're like,
They're like, I will
just
achieve.
so they can afford their $2,500 a month truck payment.
Yeah, dude, fuck that. You know what I heard?
I know.
I heard of one recently that was $3,400 a month for a truck payment. And
Do you think they even do truck shit with it?
Dude, I said to the guy, I was like, you drive a pavement princess and like you live at home. You could just, I was like, a $3,400 a month is like the mortgage payment I'm not willing to make. It's why I won't buy a house.
Yeah.
Like if you're willing to make that payment, you should just buy a beater and then buy a house.
4 times what I pay in rent.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
That's a 2006 Accord every month.
Every month.
Like
Every
a
month.
nice
Yeah, that's
Accord.
sorry, it's bi-weekly. 3,400 bi-weekly.
$7,000
A month.
a
yeah.
month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're bi-weekly payments, always. What?
You should be executed if you have a car payment that big.
Oh, why, dude?
You should be executed because you're too stupid.
No, you got to think about this, though. Here's the difference.
There's no car worth that
No,
because it's
here's-
probably financed at
here's
like
the difference.
14%.
Here's the difference, my little Josh.
What's it? Sorry, you have to have the biggest dick on the site. I understand that.
No, the difference is that to us, To us, to spend $7,000 a month on a truck is preposterous.
It is preposterous.
If your take home's $200,000 a year, $7,000 a month's not much.
It is though.
No, if your take
It's
home is
it's 90,000 a year.
yeah, so half of your shit goes towards a super sweet vehicle you use all the time. Some people are like
Half
super
your
comfy.
money should not go to your car.
Unless you're Portuguese or Italian. But
Unless you're really poor.
yeah,
And
then
you've got a really shit car that everything
Yeah.
keeps breaking. In which case, that's just bad
that's
luck.
what I'm saying. So like to these people, it's a matter of security. Like they use it all the time. Like they don't think about it.
This
the
is
same
the
way.
thing, though.
Money's different to different people.
Yeah, I get that. And if you're wealthy enough to have a really nice vehicle,
Yeah.
then you should have just bought it.
Yeah, you don't pay the payments. That's
You don't
retarded.
pay the payments.
No, I agree with you. But
You know what? You know what is never a bad call? Spending $2,000 to $3,000 on a Honda Civic.
you can't get them for that anymore.
You can get it for $3,000.
5.
I've been looking.
3, yeah, but you know how hard it is to get them to safety now? You
Yeah, that's
'em
why you have to
safety.
know a guy.
You want them safety. No, you can't know a guy anymore.
What do you mean?
Oh, let's get into this on the
Yeah,
pod.
I'd like to.
Oh, you don't know about this?
Is it harder to get
Fuck.
safeties now?
God damn it, Dougie.
Do you make it harder to get safeties?
Dougie, I love you for some things, but then other things I'm not very happy with you about.
And this is one of them?
This is one of them. It is fucking automotive genocide. Basically, when they took away the emissions test, they were like, "Hey, you don't have to do an emissions test anymore." Remember that?
Yep.
Which made everyone very happy. The flip on that was we're going to increase the standards for safety. So now every safety submitted to the government, there's no more paper ones. They're submitted electronically. You have to have an iPad or some sort of a tablet, and you take a detailed video of the entire car so they can prove that everything you say is true, and it can't be edited. It's one take.
Fuck. Beer case safeties. What happened?
Dude, I know.
What happened? I want to buy a piece of shit.
You can't. There's no point. They're not worth it anymore. That's why it's automotive genocide, because it's like, okay, you pick up an Accord for, say, $3,500. The back in the day, you had to do a little stuff to get it safety and you're fine.
Yeah, you spend another
now
$1,000.
Now the safety standard's so high, you're looking at like $5-6 grand to get it up to a full safety standard. Well, you're paying double the value of the vehicle. You might as well pay 10 grand off the hop and just get a safety new Accord that's going to have more life in it.
That's so sad.
It is really sad.
That's
It
so
is automotive
sad.
genocide.
Because-
trucks like mine, they're going to be gone in like a few years. You won't see them anywhere. It'll be all brand new trucks.
I hate it. Every car right now looks awful.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's the thing. I say car. No one's even making cars anymore.
Yeah,
It's all trucks and
SUVs and
SUVs.
trucs. I
Because
know.
everyone has to be the biggest car on the road.
Yeah,
you got to
buy foreign for cars.
Yeah, I don't even think Chevy has a sedan in their fleet anymore.
They don't.
Because they used to do the Impala still.
Impala, the Malibu,
And
the Cruise,
And I don't think any of them
and
they're
the
making anymore.
Aveo were little. They were four-door, some of them.
Yeah. I don't think they're making cars anymore.
No, they
Because
don't.
everyone needs a fucking stupid SUV. I fucking
Yeah,
hate
because
them.
they want everyone to turn into sheep to become suburbites.
No, it's not cheap. It's because you can charge more for them.
Nah,
It
dude,
does.
they want people to go into one specific lane, because the more you can train people to be in one lane, the easier it is to like influence those people to do particular things.
If
And
I
give
wake
them
up
the
one day-
illusion of free will.
If I wake up one day and I'm driving some cookie cutter beige SUV bullshit and I live in the suburbs and I think to myself like, oh, lawn's looking good today. I'm going to everything's going to zoom out and I'm going to see myself in third person and I'm just going to shoot myself.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just gonna freak
Yeah,
out.
I'm just like, if I'm living in like some new development off of like a small town and I say to myself like, well, it's close enough to the city. I can make the commute. Some shit like that.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'll kill you. I'll end
Vice
it right
versa.
there.
If I
Yeah,
find
don't,
out,
don't
it's
let
like,
me.
hey, I just moved to wherever the fuck they're building.
Watch, I'll make a bunch of money and move into like a nice house in one of the really super rich suburbs, and then you'll be like, "You told me to do this." No, things are going so great right now.
Yeah, no, but if you're like, oh, they're building a new subdivision out in Lucan.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
fucking nuts. And you just move into one of those and you don't even have sod down yet. I'm like, come on over.
I hate that shit, dude.
Yeah, I know it's soulless.
It is soulless.
It's
behavior.
soulless. But some people fucking and they walk outside with their Yeti
And they
cups.
love it. Yeah, their Yeti mug. Oh, fucking.
You know what I'm talking about? That type of
cocksucker.
person.
Yes.
It's my son now.
My boss has a Yeti mug that he takes everywhere, and I'm always like, dude, why? I get that they're like really good.
Yeah, sure, but they're also like $50.
Yeah, like it's too much.
It's a mug.
It's too much. It's a mug, bro. I
It's like,
literally
we
carry.
like to take our Yetis to Braden soccer games. Go Timberwolves. You know, it's just fucking. It's just 8 of the same dudes wearing gas station sunglasses and fucking Under Armour pullovers.
Oh wow, you fucking crushed that real quick. That's a look,
You
dude.
know
I
what
don't get it
mean,
because
right?
my mug that I take to and from work, because I got it from Value Village, which
Mm.
is why I take it to and from work. I don't care what happens to it, and it's a porcelain mug. It's like a real mug, and I come in and I put it in the truck.
Fucking shit is when you have a kitchen mug
in my car. I put it in my fucking truck.
It doesn't fit in the cup holder, so you
So
rest it on the dash.
I hold it and I rest on the dash. When I gotta turn, I'm like, whoop.
Because it'll start moving.
That's what my fucking mug is to go to and from
Once
work.
you drink more than half of it, you can put it between your knees.
Yeah,
Because it's not gonna slosh.
No, then I hold it here on the side thing
Yeah.
while I drive. You know.
And then you also have another mug in your car that's the ashtray.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the ashtray mug.
The ashtray.
No, I don't use those.
You gotta be careful because you can accidentally sip from those.
I try not to smoke in the car, so I don't have one.
See, I think for the first like 8 years I owned cars, I was like never smoking in them.
Yeah.
No smoking in the car, and I rarely ate in them. I was like, I don't want to eat in the car. I don't want to smoke in the car. It's gonna make it smell like shit. Right? It's gross.
And now you're just a piglet.
And then,
in
yeah,
there.
I've sold my car, but before I was my windows didn't work and I smoked in that thing. You remember?
Yeah, I do remember. You crack the sunroof. Crack the sunroof because you're like, can't roll it back. I was like, bro, it's hot as fucking here. And then you'd light a smoke and I was like, I'm going to die in this fucking car, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I was
driving along, we'd stop at a red light and I'd like crack the door. Because I was like, oh, bro, how are you surviving?
Yeah, it was like neither of my windows worked, and the sunroof cracked, but it didn't roll,
Yeah.
and the AC was broken. And it was a black car with black leather seats.
Oh, the
And it'd be
seats
like-
would get so hot.
Chris would be like, yeah, like in the morning, like we'll go do this thing, just come pick me up. I'm like, cool. So I pull up, it's like 10, the sun's beaten, and you would like open the door, and it would be like 40 degrees
Yeah.
out in my car.
You'd get a little flutter in your shirt because so much hot air came out of it. And I was
Yeah.
like, and I'd sit down and be burning the back of my thighs on the fucking
Yeah, I'd pull up wearing
leather.
like jeans and a white t-shirt, and I got like tit sweat. I'm like, hey, what's up? Oh, the days I would wear like black leather boots in there.
Yeah. Dude, terrible.
And like get out of my car wherever we're going and just be like, oh. And it's like, yeah, it's like 40 degrees outside. I'm like, oh, this breeze is nice.
I remember the one day I was like, hey, Josh is picking me up. I got to wear pants. And I wore, do you remember we went to the driving range? And I
Yeah.
wore these like long, like khaki pants.
Yeah.
And we get to the driving range, and when we get out, we start walking, and I go, look at this. And Josh looks down, and I go, you see that? He's like, oh, you spilled on yourself. I go, no, that's calf sweat. From your fucking cars. There's calf sweat sweating through the calves of my pants, and that's never happened in my whole life, bro.
You know what the thing was, though? Like, well, one, at night, when it wasn't that hot, it was great.
Yeah.
But, like, driving, like, I drove all my friends around. I drove the lady around.
Yeah.
No one ever bitched. And you guys totally had the right to.
Oh, yeah. We
No one,
could've.
well, I mean, you can't really complain if someone's giving you a ride, I guess. But, like, yeah, there would be times where it's like, all right, we'll take my car. And she'd be like, no.
No, I have a shitty old Jeep we can take.
Yeah, it's way better because the windows roll.
Yeah.
So, like, that's way better. That's a shame about those cars, though.
I know.
Because
Hold up. Can I
Yeah.
tell you one other thing? Because
Yeah,
are
yeah.
we getting close on time? I
No,
think we are.
Yeah, we got like 20, 25 minutes.
We got 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Who is this guy?
Hold on, let's check the thing. Yeah, okay, 20 minutes on the dot. Stop sniffing. All right, what's your thing?
That's what a dog is like if it's in your car and you're driving to work. Anyway.
Dog in the car. Fuck.
Huh? I love dogs in the car. Yeah, I love dogs. They're a great time. Don't get me on this. So,
We'll do the dog hate. On
have you seen the drones?
like in Jersey?
Oh, it's not just Jersey. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we Alex Jones in this?
No, CNN reported just New Jersey because the Americans are just fucking self-absorbed cocksuckers.
Yeah.
BBC and like NBC.
They're all over the world.
Yeah, they're all over the world. They're coming in from. They're getting the same reports in like Japan, China,
coming from?
and Russia are both reporting. Moscow. They're coming out of independent news sources in Moscow, and then like Stuttgart, Germany had them. They're out over top England. We had them in Halifax. We've had them in Ireland. Had them. Australia's had them. They were spotted in Brazil. Like
Where are they coming from?
Dude, they're just appearing.
We don't know yet.
No, but they're the size of fucking SUVs.
Big fuckers.
They're the size of an SUV. They're massive. And so here's my
Has
two
anyone
theories.
shot one down yet?
They've tried shooting at them because they went over top of a
they-
base in like Nevada or something. They were hovering over a base.
Oh yeah.
And they started shooting at it with like anti-air shit, trying to shoot it down. And it was just like, just dodging perfectly and then took off.
It's the aliens.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Let me
I just saw a spark in your eyes.
Let me. I have
saw
two theories.
fire
I have
in
two
that-
theories. One,
Aliens.
we are in the midst of a hostile alien takeover, and we don't know because the government globally wouldn't want us to know. China, Russia, and the United States have all said it's not them, and they don't know what's going on, but they all have the same thing where they go, "Don't worry, it's nothing," and everyone that lives in these countries is like, "That's no way. That's your take." They're what we don't know what they are, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, so that's crazy that our government's saying that. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But also, there is a possibility that it is a global organized response if we are at threat of an alien invasion right
This
now.
is the shit we deploy.
This is the shit that all our governments secretly work on together. That's a global defense system.
Yeah.
Or that we're testing a global defense system.
Okay.
Either of those, I think, are entirely possible. And that's why all these governments are being real cool about the fact that there's drones they have no
Because
control
I mean,
over
they
all
have
over
to
the
understand.
place.
Like, yeah, okay, maybe we're testing them, right? Like
Maybe we're
that's-
testing a global defense system.
They understand people are going to see them.
Yeah.
They're big,
They're huge. They're massive.
right?
Yeah.
Or third
And there's
option.
There's
it's-
thousands of them.
It's much less cool, and it's like Amazon delivery shit.
No, it won't. No, it's gonna end up being that this is my other theory. So, like I said,
The secret third theory.
the secret third theory is that these are the aliens that are in Hollow Earth that have come out from Antarctica due to too much nuclear testing, and they are trying to shut down nuclear testing, and they don't want us to continue our advancements with nuclear power. That's possible, even though I love nuclear power, and I think
Like
it's
nuclear
the cleanest.
bombs or
Nuclear
power?
bombs.
Bombs.
They
Even
don't
though I
want
love
any-
nukes.
Even though I love nukes, but I don't want that to be the case. But it's very possible that these are the people coming out of Hollow Earth, and we're like, what's in there? Crystalline people and giants. So like, we're gonna see that maybe some of
That's
Christian
why they would
series.
have to be big, because a giant's piloting it.
Yeah. So like, soon I think we're gonna see that either it's an alien invasion, global defense system, or that I was really right about a bunch of theories.
We'll see. We'll just have to tell.
If
I
it-
can't imagine that they went over Jersey and didn't get knocked
If
down.
that's the case, I just want to be clear. They didn't. People were shooting at them from their backyards. And the
I know,
government-
it's America.
Dude, not only that, the mayor went to Congress and was like, the mayor of New Jersey was like, what are we doing? This is all over my city. And they told him, don't worry about it. We don't know what they are, but they're not hostile. And he was like,
How do you know that if you don't know what they are?
yeah, he's like, you don't know what they are, but they're not hostile. And they're just hovering like 100 feet over people. They're literally close enough people can see detail on them. Some of them are orbs, floating orbs. There's videos, thousands of videos online.
I have 2.1 million angry Italian Americans.
Yeah,
in
that
New
are like
Jersey
trying to shoot the
that are trying
sky.
to shoot this motherfucker down. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, I need to know what they are because and they were like,
It's like
no,
the
don't worry
last
about
thing
it.
that the drone camera sees is just that fucking hawk of prosciutto.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Get out of my backyard! You fucking cocksucker!
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Hey, what you doing? How am I right side of your sun
Oh,
tanning?
I'm trying to watch the fucking Devils game.
The Devils game.
Oh, I'm trying to watch the fucking Jets.
I'm probably
Like,
gonna be.
imagine that. Like you're a fat Italian guy. You smell like pork all the time. You just watch the Jets lose again, and you gotta
And there's
walk
a
outside
fucking
for your-
SUV.
you
People
for
are
your
going-
stress cigar.
You know what's crazy though is people are going to sleep, leaving them, and they're like 50 to 100 feet over their backyard.
How are they not hitting them with like handguns?
Dude, they just go. Doom, doom, doom.
It outruns a handgun bullet. It outruns a bullet.
It's outrunning anti-fucking aircraft missiles and shit. Yeah. Dude, they're shooting at them with turrets and they can't hit them. Army bases in the United States have full fucking, like, JT-2 turrets
Yeah.
just shooting into the sky and they can't hit them. And they hit everything.
How is like a fighter jet not
They
intercepted?
can't get them. They just take off and they're gone. And then the fighter jet leaves and they come right back.
You know what actually would be a fucking great plan?
What?
You get like 6 jets in like what would it be?
A V?
Like a hexagon pattern where they're the corners.
Okay.
And you attach a net in between all of them. Because it'd be a bigger space for it to outrun, right? So it might not have the time.
This is how I know that Josh went to school for art and I went to school for math and physics.
Oh, okay. You just have a net.
Yeah, do you know how much like drag
Make
resistance?
it thin. You don't have to have the net survive the impact.
It does
Right?
have to take it down.
No, it just has to cover the thing. And then it would fuck up its blades. Or are they bladed like drones?
I know they're just floating.
They're just floating.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that like
Yeah, like
a fighter
what?
jet with a gun on it would not be able to shoot that.
Dude, because they
They
move.
can shoot other jets.
They move super fast. They can't hit them.
Yeah, but these
They
guys
have
find
yet
things
to
are
take one
pros.
down. They've yet to take one down.
I don't know. Or like
How did you think you could just fly a net at one of those things?
it's attached.
No, I get the
It's
mechanics.
attached to the jet, but you don't.
But
it's
you
not
didn't think
taut.
about okay. You
It's
didn't,
not taut.
No,
it's
there's
not
so it's like a big windsock with tons of drag resistance because
Yeah.
there's less drag resistance.
Yeah,
when
but
it's very
I'm sure
tight.
the army has some sort of lightweight material. and
Okay,
aerodynamic stuff.
so then you're driving along with your fucking burlap sack,
Not a
that's
sack.
catching
Make it
fuckloads
out
of
of
wind, and these jets are trying to maintain stability
Yeah, but
at
they're
high
good at
speeds
it.
to catch this thing.
They're good at it.
Fucking, and then it goes around, and they get by fucking
You know
some
what?
unforeseen miracle, they get it in the burlap sack of Josh's imagination, and then all the jets, when the tension hits at the back, they go boom, and they all crash
No,
together.
no.
And you sacrifice
No, no, no,
6
no.
F-22 pilots to catch
drop
one
the
fucking
net.
drone, maybe
They
maybe
drop
catch.
the net. The net is attached to them on
You
like
drop
a hook.
it, so it can outrun bullets, but it's not gonna outrun a falling net.
No. Once it hits, that's enough resistance to pull the net off the
Oh, like you have a little like tension break.
like
Okay.
a tension break, and there's like that side would be weighted,
Okay.
right? Like not crazy heavy, but enough that those weights would fall faster than the rest.
How
of
would
the
they
net.
get How would they get it up? How do you think they would get the net up?
Okay, let me think.
It's 6 of them, right? Because they have to attach.
They do have to attach.
Yeah.
So they're all up in
Okay.
the sky in this hexagon.
And just to be clear, it's really hot behind jets. It's really hot, burning hot.
yeah. No, it's not dragging like a windsock.
Oh, okay.
But it's not taut.
Is it
either.
off
It's
the
like-
one corner of their wing then?
Yeah, like where they would attach missiles and
just-
bombs and stuff, right?
Nothing
So
about nothing about the
sec.
physics works.
So you know those big planes they use to refuel jets midair.
yeah.
You've
Yeah.
seen those, right?
Yes.
So that flies slightly ahead of the jets, and they're in that formation behind them. And then instead of that arm going the whoop to refill on the jet,
It's a nozzle. Yep.
it's like the Canadarm
And
on
it
the space
attaches
station.
it to all of them?
Yeah, and it like and then it attaches them. I'm sure they spend enough money on their fucking military. I'm sure they can figure it out. I'm
You
sure
want-
there's like one guy who could figure this out. I'm
You
like
wanna know
90% of the
You
way
know
there.
what's a kind of cool thing that is real military technology?
Yeah.
Do you remember in The Dark Knight,
Mm-hmm.
the skyhook?
Where they attach to the other, like the one plane grabs the other plane.
No, where
Oh, where they're waiting there with the hook, and then the rope comes and it grabs them, and then they fly off.
yeah,
with
where
it.
they're standing at the edge and they like and a balloon goes
Yeah,
up.
the balloon goes
and
up,
they come
and then
and
it grabs
hook the balloon,
Yeah,
and
that
you
is
just like,
real. That
That's
is
real, yeah.
yeah. I remember that from Battlefield 3, if anyone ever played that campaign.
That's
You
cool.
get sky hooked out.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
feel like that would be a crazy feeling.
To
Because you
get
would
stuck-
go from
dude, it-
0 to
to,
top
like,
speed.
0 to like 380 kilometers an hour
Instantly.
real fast.
Yeah.
I guess there's a bunch of tension in him, so like, boom, and then it pulls
Oh,
you up
like
to
works
speed.
like a spring.
Yeah, because you
'Cause
couldn't. It would just split
It would just
you in
rip
half.
your torso, and your arms and legs would still be where they
In
were
midair.
in your head. And
Yeah.
then just like, bleh.
Oh god,
That's got to be pretty crazy.
that's fucking brutal.
I mean, I remember, this is not even close, but I remember being a kid, and there was like this, it was like this ropes course we went to when we were in the Dominican. And it was like a wood structure that was probably like 40 feet up with like a net kind of thing that was made like kind of elasticy that you would, kind of like a trampoline, but you wouldn't bounce, it would just sink.
Okay,
And we had to stand at the edge with our back to it and then like fall backwards and fall like 50 feet. Maybe it wasn't 50 feet. It felt like fucking
Okay.
50 feet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
And that shit was fucking terrifying.
was it like a bungee though, or just like a net?
It was just a net. Like, we weren't attached to anything.
Oh, okay.
And you would just like fall into it. But like the force of that was fucking crazy. I can't imagine getting skyhooked.
Dude, even like when I was doing rappelling training,
Mm-hmm.
you drop like 20 feet free fall and then engage a gree.
You
It's
feel
like,
it in your
oh god.
Yeah, even like
it
if
catches
you
you all of
if
a
you go
sudden.
rock climbing and you like push off the wall and rappel down, right?
Oh yeah, like that's the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it in your prostate.
You want it? Yes, that's what I always say. I get it in my like gooch gets tight.
Yeah, it's like your pelvic floor, and I feel it down my urethra,
Yeah.
like to the tip of
Like
my
get
dick.
like oh
Ugh.
yeah. You know what's crazy is the worst I've ever had. Me and my friend Andrew were climbing in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I was lead climbing, which is where as you climb, you clip in and you clip into the next thing as you keep climbing
And
up.
you have like 2 clips going at a time, so one's always
no,
clipped,
there's
and
all
then
you
clip.
just keep clipping and clipping and clipping.
But
and
there is
clipping.
time with 0 clip action happening,
like the very beginning, sure, for like 8 feet, 6 feet,
and then you clip,
and then you keep going.
and then you unclip it. And
no, you don't. You have tons of clips on you. You just clip more and more and more, and then someone has to clean the route at the end.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so I go and it gets to like 10 feet between clips because you're up on the wall. And so I get past this clip and I get all the way up. And as I go to clip in, I missed. And I like, what? And it shook me off and I like fell back. So you have 10 feet of rope above your last clip.
Yeah.
And then you fall till that catches. So
Okay.
like 25 feet, let's say.
Yeah.
25 feet. And I'm telling you, dude.
And then hit the wall.
And then you like, boom. And you like, you have to like, woof, into the wall with your feet. Yeah. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah,
It
that's
scared
primal.
the living shit out of
How
me.
high up were you?
Like 60, 70 feet in the air.
That's enough to kill you.
Yeah, that's enough to scare the bejeebus out of me. And then you're falling too, and you just grab this tiny little rope, and you're like, hopefully this saves my life! And then I'm like, I shouldn't have had that burger yesterday. That's what's going to do it.
Then the free solo climbers.
Oh,
Death
fuck
wish.
that.
Fuck
Death
that.
wish. Go, just kill yourself.
Yeah, like the guys who were like 300 feet up,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, thank God!" And it's
Yeah.
a crack this big in the rock,
like-
and he like shoves his fingertips into
And
it.
can
He's
take
like,
kind of a
"Oh,
break.
I can rest."
Yeah. You're like,
Huh?
what?
It's just they come down, and their fingers are always this way. At this knuckle, they bend down.
The other thing you'll see, my buddy has it. The thinnest point is at the bottom,
Yeah,
and then they get thicker as they go up,
yeah, they got weird fucking
like
hands.
reverse triangles.
Rock climbers have weird hands and weird feet. It's from the shoes, I think.
Yeah, the shoes are really tight intentionally, so you can dig your toe in.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those guys, or the guys that climb buildings.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
There's this one French guy. I forget what his name is. Like the human fly or something
Yeah.
like that. He calls himself, and he's climbed like every building in the world.
Every
Or
building.
well, not every. Fuck, that was a stupid thing to say.
This
eh?
guy with his
What the
physics
fuck?
today.
Every single building.
the
Yeah.
science-
You know what?
what
I'm fucking,
science are
I'm
you
fucking
doing today?
doubling down. He's climbed every building in the world, including yours and mine. And every time they build a building, he climbs up and
climbs up and right down.
Yeah,
Yes,
every
yeah.
single one.
That's why development takes so long.
Yeah, because I gotta wait for this guy. For
Yeah.
it to be considered a building, he has to climb it.
Yeah.
No, he's climbed like all like notable buildings. Like
Oh,
he's
the
climbed
big
like the
skyscrapers and
Sears
stuff.
Tower
Yeah.
in Chicago. He's done the Burj, I think.
Okay.
But he'll just like go up and he'll be like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" Because this part of the building is like 6 foot of glass, and then just like little metal lips in between each of the panes, and he'll just stretch as high as he can, get his fingertips on it, basically do a muscle up until he can get his toes on it, and then like, ugh.
Yeah, like that's fucked, dude.
And he's like 58.
How can you keep yourself against it? Is
I
what
have-
I don't
I
know.
have no
He
fuck-
must wear a suction cup on his belly.
That'd be the way to do it. Did you ever hear about that guy in Toronto
What?
with the glass? He was working at an insurance. This is actually a really good story to end on. He worked at an insurance company in Toronto in a high rise. I think he was like the 30-something floor. And he had this thing that he would do. It was like a trick in the office where they had a boardroom with like floor-to-ceiling windows. And he would run as fast as he could at the window and then jump and shoulder it. And he would bounce off. But he would do it to like freak people out.
Oh,
But
because it's so strong.
it's so strong, right?
Yeah.
So he would do that all the fucking time. And they would always bring like students in from high school who are interested in working in insurance or some shit like that. Or they do field trips up there.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of high school kids in the boardroom. And he's like, "You guys want to see something crazy?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, what?" And he runs and he fucking sprints and jumps and he bounces off the window and comes back inside. Like bounces and they're like, "Holy shit, that's crazy." He's like, "You want to see me do it again?" And they're like, "Cool." And he runs and he jumps and goes right through the fucking window.
Fuck off. Are you serious?
Yeah. He goes right through the window and falls to his death in front of like a high school class. Just like boom.
You fucking
So
moron.
he and the glass fall down in downtown Toronto and hit the sidewalk, and the glass didn't break. He had just done it on this same pane of glass so many times that it separated on the edges somehow.
No way.
And he took the whole pane out when he hit it, and the pane of glass hit the ground and didn't break.
What?
Yeah. And he hit, obviously he died.
Dude, what a retard.
I know.
What a
right?
fucking retard, actually.
Yeah, but like, dude, imagine being in that class. Like, you want to see me do it again? No. Like, once was enough. And then he just like, gone. And then it's like high-rise winds. Fucking papers flying everywhere.
Dude, that makes my gooch tight just thinking about that.
Like, and it's so high up enough that he definitely had time on the way down to be like, wow.
To be like, wow, I fucked up today.
Why did I do that? I already did it once.
Yeah, why did I go again?
What am I proving here?
Proving to high school kids I was cool. That's why you don't do that, you fucking weirdos.
It's like, we regret to inform you, Mrs. Whatever, that your husband died today at work. And you're like, what the? He's a fucking insurance salesman.
Hey, he was
fuck did he do?
showing off to high school girls.
He jumped out the window. Well, was it a suicide? Not exactly.
Not
See,
really.
He was really trying to look cool in front of high school girls. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And he was just running and throwing himself at windows and bouncing back into the room. And then one of the windows did break.
Do you want to end it on something?
Yeah, what's that?
And we're really sorry to inform you that because of the strange circumstances of his death, we're not going to be able to fulfill your life insurance claim.
Oh my god, yeah!
Long live Luigi! Stay reasonable!
Keep down and good night!
Reasonable Doubt Podcast. If you guys like funny, hilarious, goofy, goober, silly boys podcast, that is a good place to find yourself.